Or law enforcement officers, we should say, deputies.
They've ripped multiple holes in the home and have been watching him. You're right, the preference is for him to come out peacefully, but they're going to put an end to this,
and if
either way. He's not going to leave the house.
If he were to continue his streak, at least in Eric, and God forbid starts trying to shoot his way out, it may not end well for him because, he's already hit several people, severely hurting Deputy Joseph Anderson with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. And so, yeah, I mean, they have to make split decisions. The SWAT team does. I mean, depending on what he does. I mean, hopefully, he comes out peacefully. But again, if he decides to fight his way out, they're prepared for that too.
And if you think about it this way, in the last 24 hours, this is their third attempt to put him into custody.
Yeah.
There was the original traffic stop 24 hours ago, which began the manhunt, right? Because he shot a deputy, critically injuring Deputy Joseph Anderson, who is still at the Texas Medical Center.
When you talk about that, Elisa, now it kind of comes to light, though. Now we understand a little bit of his motive.
Right.
Because he was out on bond, and he knew what was going to happen. He was out on bond for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and a felon in possession.
I think we see an arm.
You see an arm?
There's a green light. Yeah, that is definitely an arm because there's a... that was a light from a weapon.
Too. Good eyes, Rudy. They've put a light or a beam on him to highlight where exactly it looks like an arm there. Does that mean he's attempting to come out? Does that mean is he trying to show he has nothing in his hands? Okay, that's his arm. He's trying to show he has nothing, at least in that hand. We haven't seen two hands, but I'm sure they've told him you need to show us your hands. Okay,
there's both hands right now.
Both hands have let us know he has no weapons in his hands. At this point, I'm sure they're going to try to apprehend him.
We have not seen any movement from the officer that we believe is right around the corner still. I do believe you can see just the edge of that officer around that corner. And you wonder in what way they would get him down from that second floor. Does the machinery help them? Does that officer come around?
Or does somebody come up, from the front and try to go upstairs if there's any stairs left? I mean, we don't know what's left, but to try to come in that way. But as you said, they forced him out. They forced his hand. They've been able to identify where he was in the house.
And you wonder how they did that, too. You can only imagine that it was because that robotic dog had maybe cornered him.
He's giving commands right here. You see that? Sorry to cut you guys off, but he's giving commands presumably to Green, either to surrender, give himself up, something.
And so you're in a precarious position at this point because that's not a spot where you should be walking around.
Exactly.
If you're a roofer or have ever had a roofer come to your house, you're physically in a dangerous spot anyway. So he's shown his hands, he's receiving commands, and now let's see how they manage getting him into custody in an area that's already a little bit precarious to be doing work on.
Well, you wonder why at this point he just wouldn't come downstairs and walk out the front door with his hands up. Because he can't really walk out.
How's he going to get out of
there.
this? Is he going to jump from the second floor? I mean, they've got to get him out somehow.
Unless the house is interior is so demolished at this point that he can't make his way to the front door. But that's kind of hard to comprehend. It would be the interior would be that demolished, but that doesn't really seem like a spot he can really come out of.
And we don't know what's going on from the ground either. We don't know if they're trying to send crews in, from the ground level.
Right. While he's occupied
and go up the stairs if there's stairs left,
Let's see what comes out with the arm.
He's on it.
Oh, he's
on the arm. And you can see law enforcement has a weapon trained on him. That's the green dot right there. In case anything happens, so that is definitely a rifle laser.
They will take care of business if they have to because, again, this guy, armed, dangerous, has shot 3 law enforcement deputies. Another was hit with shrapnel. They are not playing with this guy.
And certainly they had people waiting on the ground for him.
Sure.
So after a 24-hour plus manhunt, going on probably 30 hours now, the man you're looking at on the left-hand side of your screen. Hours. It all comes to an end with him riding on the arm of a SWAT
and he's got to know. We don't know who he's had contact with the last 24 hours. His mom, girlfriend, somebody. But I'm sure a woman in his life, it's usually a woman, who says,